This is Jason with Chicago News. We've got the new 2018 Beetle Dune edition. Now this may look like the one we tested before, but there's some changes for 2018. Let's hop inside and check it out. You may recognize this Beetle Dune, as we've tested this model and color before, but as we've complained about lack of power, guess what? They added the 2-liter. Now you got some power to go along with the looks. So Volkswagen listened to us and gave us a little bit more power, but this still looks like an off-road vehicle, but definitely isn't. There's a couple things that really affect its performance when it gets slippery. First of all, the tires. Again, as we've talked about, having a car that looks like an off-road vehicle, you'd want a more all-terrain tire. This has, a decent all-season tire, but we've had a lot of snow over the past week here in Chicago, and these tires really aren't up to the challenge. You would want to get a set of snow tires with this, because another problem that we found is you can't actually turn off the traction control. Anyone who's lived someplace where you deal with winter, you know that when you get stuck, the traction control can actually hurt you because the wheels are slipping and it's trying to stop the car. Sometimes you can't even get it to move. Being able to turn off the traction control is key. And we've been trying for a week to find it. It's literally the first thing we do. We get a car, we're immediately looking for that switch or that menu. We can't find it here. So if somebody knows how to do it, tell us in the comments. We've been looking for it all week. It's not in the menus. There's no button for it. 1.8 version of this Dune that we had last year, it was in the menu. On the inside of this Dune edition, you definitely know you're driving something a little bit cool and different. You've got this body color painted section of the dash and the doors here. This color that our test car is in, it's a really bold mustard yellow. It's really cool. This design of this car, the look of it, is really what sells this car. It's kind of a basic Beetle. It's just like most other Volkswagens. They're all built off the same platform. Same as a Golf, same as a Jetta, but this really has a unique style and a unique design. A lot of times when you have a vehicle with a design that's this cool, you're taking a big compromise on interior space. Being a hatchback layout, you've got a ton of cargo space in the back, and the back seat is actually usable. You're certainly not going to put a bunch of people in there to take a long trip, but around town, 4 people, maybe 5 can get around just fine in this. Feature-wise, we're not finding really much in the way of active safety features. You've got a backup camera, and that's about it. No blind spot monitors, no collision alert, none of the features that you're really coming to get used to seeing on most cars these days, especially at a $27,000 price point. There is some technology in terms of the infotainment system, but we've been struggling a little bit with getting that to connect. We've got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, but it really hasn't connected to our phone. We haven't really been able to use it. So I don't know if it's a problem with just this test vehicle, but definitely a little concerning. They've added some functionality to the touchscreen, which is nice. You used to have to use the menu to go up and down. Now you can scroll by dragging your finger up and down on the screen, so a little bit easier to use, and it's a pretty straightforward system in general. Volkswagen's infotainment is pretty spot on, so it's a good system there, but technology-wise, this is pretty basic when it comes down to it. We do have auto climate in this version. The one we tested last year was much more basic. Again, a vehicle like this, a price point like this, does it really matter to have this? Or do you want to save a couple bucks? Maybe not get the auto climate. If you wanted to order one without this climate control, though, you can't. Really, there's only one way to get this. You can no longer even get the 1.8. 2-liter only, and the only options are 3 colors: black, white, $250 extra for this yellow. And then there's dealer installed options, but ultimately you get this one way. Unique feature on the door pockets here is this elastic strap. It kind of conforms to whatever size bottle you want to put in here, but bottles are really the only thing that this will hold. So essentially you have only a very shallow pocket at the bottom to carry anything. And you've got this elastic band. It's a cool idea, but in practice, you can't really keep anything but your bottle in there. You do get some other convenience features: heated seats, heated mirrors, auto dimming mirror. Again, some of these features, they're definitely great to have, but for $27,000, it feels like maybe it's missing a little bit. So with these door pockets kind of compromised, you're looking elsewhere for space, you've got two glove boxes. There's one on the front of the dash here, one on the bottom. The one on the bottom is huge. Besides that, you've got some pockets in different places, but there's not a ton of room. The center console is kind of small. It's probably enough for anyone that would be using this. New for 2018 though, you do get an amazing warranty. Volkswagen's come out with a 6-year, 72,000 mile warranty. You know, it's almost a way to apologize for their issues they had with the emissions scandal, if you will, on the diesels. You know, they want to rebuild trust, and this warranty kind of blows everyone out of the water. So it's a great time to buy a Volkswagen because 6 years, 72,000 mile bumper to bumper is an incredible warranty. Unique design on the interior also carries to the seats. They've got this really cool fabric and yellow piping. The stitching, yellow stitching on the steering wheel here. All of these design elements are quite cool, but the lower parts of the doors are kind of boring. It's just black plastic. However, at night, you've got an option to change the color of the lights that backlight the speakers and the interior lighting under the dash and so forth. But interestingly, you only get 4 color options. It kind of feels like if you've got adjustable LEDs there, it could be just about any color. So maybe there'll be a software update and you can do a million colors, but for now you get to choose from 4. Unfortunately, one of the 4 is not yellow. You would think that with this yellow interior, it'd be cool to have a slightly yellow tinged light to kind of tie everything together, but it's not one of the choices. Speaking of the speakers, these are part of the Fender audio system that you get with this Dune edition. It's a great sounding stereo. It does have a subwoofer missing a little bit of bottom end, but overall really good stereo system here. There's a lot of glass in this cabin. You're basically sitting in a giant greenhouse, and the moonroof is actually almost the entire roof. You've got a huge panel here and the whole thing slides back. One of the things that it does is you get a lot of exterior noise, wind noise, road noise coming through all the glass. So it's nice to have the visibility, certainly, but there's a drawback as well. All right, so what's our conclusion about this Beetle Dune edition? Definitely still wish this was all-wheel drive and had some more off-road capable tires. It looks like an off-road vehicle, but it definitely doesn't perform like one. The 2-liter is a great addition, but for $27,000, it's missing a few features. In the end, you're gonna buy this because you think it looks cool, not because of anything that we told you about it.